Hello everyone, this is John Jenkins, and I'm here to bring you my first YouTube book club book review. I'm part of the book club in Bezazian Library in Chicago, on the north side of Chicago. I believe around Ainsley and Broadway, uh, in Chicago. And so basically, I recorded this video. Yesterday, but hardy har har, I recorded this video yesterday, and I forgot to turn the audio on. So I forgot to turn the audio on. That's totally my fault. Anyway, I'm re-recording this video. It is a Saturday. I'm not supposed to be recording videos on a Saturday, but I really wanted to re-record this video. So here's the book, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. That's the book for the August 2026 book club. So I'll be releasing this video in August of 2026. Anyway, to make a long story short, this is the book club review. So R.F. Kuang. First things first. I did a little research. R.F. Kuang is not affiliated with the Ohio Writers Workshop. She's not affiliated with the Ohio Writers Workshop. She is affiliated with the Odyssey Writers Workshop in New Hampshire. She graduated from the Odyssey Writers Workshop in New Hampshire. Obviously, she's a really accomplished author. Not only that, she's really accomplished academically. I believe she went to Oxford and stuff like that. Graduated from Oxford. She's been to a lot of Ivy League schools. So basically, this book, if you read I'm not going to give any spoilers in this review. So if you read the back blurb of the book, basically the idea of the book is that there's this girl named Juniper. This is a white woman. The race is important for the story. I'm not just saying this because I'm some sort of person. The race is important for the story. So the main character in R.F. Kuang's book Yellowface is Juniper. You can call it Juniper Song. She is a white woman, right? And she is friends with an extremely accomplished Chinese author. She's friends with an extremely accomplished Chinese author. And the extremely accomplished Chinese author friend dies, and she basically Juniper Song takes Angela's unpublished manuscript and she publishes it as her own book, and then she makes a lot of money. So that's basically the plot, based on the blurb on the back. So I didn't spoil anything. So first things first, I did not detect any typos in this book, and I did not detect any grammar mistakes in this book, which is amazing because this is a book about misconnections or misunderstandings between cultures, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it's amazing. So I didn't see any spelling mistakes or any grammar mistakes in this novel. So that's the first thing. So did I like the book? No, I did not like the book. So there are two main reasons why I did not like the book. So there are two main reasons why I did not like the book. Extremely well written, very high quality editing in this book, but I did not like the book. The first reason was that the main character in this book is the worst character as far as personality. The main character in this book has absolutely zero redeemable qualities at all in this book. The main character in this book is trash. She's not to say that she's badly written. Like, this is a well-written book, but personality-wise, as in the main character has no redeemable qualities as a person. If If you know, I mean, if you read into the first 50 pages, uh, if a real person was like this, if a real person was like Juniper Song, she'd be in a padded cell for life. She has no redeemable qualities. Now, I'm not saying that she has to be a good person to be a good protagonist. You can have an anti-hero in a novel. I guess you could say. I guess a good example would be Faust, the main character from Faust who made the deal with the devil. Uh, yeah, so you could say that that's a good anti-hero. But not that maybe that's not a perfect anti-hero because he does sort of get redeemed at the end. But uh, yeah, so you can have an anti-hero character, but even if you have an anti-hero character, he still has to have the anti-hero still has to have redeemable qualities, as in they still have to have something about them that makes them likable as a human being. Not necessarily that they're goody goody all the time. Not necessarily that they're wishy washy or they're secretly a good guy just pretending to be a bad guy. That's not what I mean. I mean, even if you have a really like for example, Denzel Washington in Training Day. Denzel Washington won the Oscar for that role. But he was playing a crooked cop, a seriously crooked cop who had basically a really bad uh, uh, personality, but he was a redeemable character. He was a likable character because he knew his stuff. He knew what he was talking about, stuff like that. So the first issue I have with this book is that the main character had no redeemable qualities as a hero or an anti-hero. The type of stuff that she would say in the beginning of the novel, it was just absolutely. I mean, the type of stuff that the main character would say in the beginning now was just absolutely just irredeemable for any type of main character. And I'm not just especially harping on this author. It's just that like I said, uh, uh, this is a little bit spoilers, but like I said, this main character expects to be a famous author. She's got this extremely famous, supernaturally famous, preternaturally famous Chinese friend who's a extremely best-selling author, and but Juniper Song simply expects that just because she wrote a novel, just because she's writing novels too, that she's automatically supposed to be just as successful as her friend. She's not willing to do a single thing to improve her career, improve her uh, uh, writing ability, her writing process. She just simply lazily expects that she's going to be a best-selling author for no reason at all, and that's a little bit spoilers. But I started to see some of that behavior in my own life because I'm personally an author, and I've sold less than 20 copies total of all my books put together. But even though I don't sell that many books, I'm at least getting something out of it. Like, I don't sell any books, but I get to write the book that I want to write. I get to write about the characters that I want to write about. I'm not sitting here whining about somebody else becoming a successful author when I'm not willing to write for the masses. I'm not willing to write what I'm not willing to write what the people expect for a person like me to write. So I don't whine about it. I just write the stories I want to write, and I don't care if they get a lot of views or a lot of sales. So that was the first issue that I have with the novel, is that the main character had no redeemable qualities whatsoever, and it was really like almost sociopathic. So, some of the stuff some I won't spoil it, but some of the stuff that Juniper Song described in the beginning of the novel were just sociopathic tendencies that she was having. And the second issue I had with the novel was that the entire relationship between Angela, the Chinese author, the successful Chinese author, and Juniper Song, her white friend, that entire relationship was just completely unrealistic. I believe her name is Angela Liu. So Angela Liu, the Chinese successful Chinese author, uh, she she's a she's a multiple time best-selling author. Pretty much every novel she puts out at this point is a best-selling book. She is world famous. People all over the globe are trying to learn from her, be her friend, whatever. Trying to glean some success off of her. So she's admired all over the world and all the continents and all sorts of stuff. Why on earth? Why on earth would she ever in her life want to be around Juniper Song, even temporarily? Why would she? If you if it like uh uh you know I've never seen Jeff Bezos. I live in Uptown Chicago, and there's a lot of homeless people in Uptown Chicago. I've never seen Jeff Bezos get in his limo, drive all the way to Uptown Chicago to hang out with a guy sleeping on the sidewalk. So it is completely unrealistic that somebody at the level of Angela Liu would ever spend any time whatsoever. I mean, maybe that she could have written it into the maybe she could have written it into the story that I don't know. Angela Liu helped her do something. Angela Liu helped her do something in the past that was Angela Liu saved her life in the past, and she felt indebted to Angela. I'm sorry. Juniper Song saved Angela Liu's life in the past, and maybe she was indebted to Juniper Song in the future, which is why she sort of kept her around as a hanger on. Um, so that wasn't even a story, and she could have written it where like Juniper Song was just a really skilled con man. I mean, there have been some great con men written into novels and stuff like that. So Juniper Song could have been a really skilled con man or con woman who I've never heard the word con woman used in English. But anyway, she could have written it where Juniper Song was a really good con woman who was just really skilled at ingratiating herself with immigrant authors, and then knocking them off, or somehow stealing their novels and making a fortune. That could have been her. That could have been her main moneymaker, which is basically scamming successful authors. But Juniper Song didn't even raise to that level. She had absolutely nothing going on in her entire life, and so that was the second reason. So basically what happened in the book, that was the second thing I didn't like the book. So the first thing I didn't like about the book was that the main character Juniper Song had absolutely no redeemable qualities in any way whatsoever as a hero, as an anti-hero, as an in-between, as anything. She had no redeemable qualities. And the second issue I had with the novel was that the relationship between Angela Liu and Juniper Song was completely unrealistic. Never happened in a million years. And then, so basically, what happened in the whole novel was that the author would start off the book by introducing these completely glaring, insurmountable, giant plot holes. These game breaking, these story breaking, these deal breaking plot holes early on in the novel, and these are like Mack truck sized plot holes, like the two I just mentioned, and then she spends the rest of the novel basically just papering over the plot hole. So, so yeah, so I'm not gonna get into any spoilers, but she introduces these game breaking, novel breaking, story breaking plot holes, and then she just papers over them. And then she's putting band-aids on bullet wounds, when she really should. I mean, it was obvious. It was obvious that a lot of this novel was a first draft that she didn't feel like rewriting. A lot of this novel was a first draft that she didn't feel like rewriting. Obviously, she's the best-selling R.F. Kuang, the R.F. Kuang, the R.F. Kuang, the author of this novel, was the best-selling author, and I've never sold more than uh, than 20 copies of all my books put together. So like I said, she keeps introducing these game breaking, story breaking plot holes, and then she papers over them. She puts band-aids on bullet wounds, and I believe on page 39. I'm gonna give one quote from the book. So on page 39, basically, Juniper Song says that selling Juniper Song has just sold Angela Liu's book, and I guess she made a lot of money from the sale. So Juniper Song says selling this book felt like my reparations. Selling this book, and that was so unintentionally hilarious for me, because and obviously this is gonna sound extremely racist, especially come from somebody who looks like me, but Juniper Song says selling this book was like my reparations, and I immediately said to myself, like I immediately said to myself, this book right here was literally R.F. Kuang's reparations. So selling this book was R.F. Kuang's reparations. This was her payback for all the racism she has suffered in her life. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say for this review. It's already at 6:17 minutes. Yeah, I don't want to go any further with this. So like I said, I would say it's probably a 2 out of 5 or a 2.5 out of 5. Like I said, it really gets a bump up because I did not see any spelling or grammar errors in the book. But that lack of quality story was just devastating. I just couldn't get with it. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. This has been my review of Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I believe this edition was published in 2025. Yeah, so have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.